Hello everybody and welcome to another Total Gaming Network and CS Nation presentation. As always, this is Zips and today we're going to take a look at the first chapter of Telltale's The Walking Dead video game. A word of warning, the review does contain footage and language that might be too violent and visceral for some viewers. If you hate it when game characters die, especially the undead, then perhaps you should not watch this. I mean, you could, provided you get your parent or guardian to sit and watch it with you. Make it a family affair. This is episode 1 of 5 planned episodes for The Walking Dead. As is typical with Telltale's releases, the first episode is out now with the remaining 4 coming out at regular intervals of 1 every month. Episode 1, entitled A New Day, sets the scene of what gamers can expect for the remaining episodes. You play as Lee Everett, a man accused of a brutal murder and leaving Atlanta when the crap suddenly hits the fan. What follows is an engaging tale of survival, cooperation, and loss. Honestly, the game does a great job of making you feel bad for many of the people you come across and their personal plights. Naturally, there are some real dicks in the game that you just wish you could punch out, but we can't always get what we want. The gameplay is a bit more action-oriented than previous Telltale releases. Yes, it's still, quote, sort of a point-and-click adventure. Players often have control over Lee, being able to move him around the environment to interact with people and objects at his leisure. There are a few times where you are forced to stay in one place, moving only your mouse to look around and find things to interact with. Puzzles are generally on the easy side and aren't conventional puzzles in the sense you might be thinking of. They are typically puzzles along the lines of find X to solve the problem with Y. Stuff like that. There is plenty of dialogue to help the story along, with multiple response choices paving the way for conversations that could change each time you play through the game. The story is well told and oftentimes evoke an emotional response at various points in the game. I really must commend Telltale on their ability to tell a story and make you feel in such a short span of time. An important bit to note here is the fact that the choices you make in this first episode could have long-lasting repercussions in future episodes. Save one person now, and you may come to regret it further on down the line. The great thing is the fact that since these episodes are bite-sized pieces of gameplay, it doesn't take too long to replay through the game with alternate choices on a second save. But really, you should probably just man up and face whatever happens because of your previous screw-ups. That's just, my opinion, of course. Action sequences in this game are also dished out by way of the mouse and clicking. Have to take down a zombie that took you by surprise? Aim at their head and click. Repeat as necessary until they stop moving, and even then, you may want to click a few more times to bash their skull in. As this is a game based off of a very popular series of comics that feature a lot of violence and swearing, you should expect to see a lot of that in the game. It's actually a bit of a change of pace for Telltale. Despite the hand-drawn look, complete with thick lines and sometimes exaggerated features, the game can be quite visceral. Entrails will be ripped out, eyes pulled out of their sockets, and enough blood splatter to fill a swimming pool. This is easily the most adult release that Telltale has produced lately. While you aren't busy killing Zeds, plenty of character interaction is the main focus. As this game takes place prior to many of the events from the comic, you will come across familiar faces before Rick and his crew ever meet up with them. Included in the first episode is a stopover at Herschel Green's family farm. Fortunately, the stay is brief, and there are no instances of yelling for Carl to just stay in the damn house. Another familiar face is Glenn, and he remains with you for a good portion of this episode. During his adventure in Apocalypse Land, main man Lee also comes across a little girl who has lost her parents. Her name is Clementine, and she seems as though she will become a mainstay in the rest of the episodes alongside Lee. You may also be glad to hear that, given the nature of the game, Clementine manages to hold her own when the going gets tough and never really gets in the way. Your first playthrough of the game may run you about an hour and 30 minutes. At $25 total for all 5 episodes combined, you're looking at about 8 hours of gameplay for $25. That's not bad. It would have been nice if the achievements were a bit more than simple unlocks just for playing through the game, but that's essentially a minor complaint. One more thing I noticed is that a bug prevented me from responding to a small optional dialogue exchange with Clementine at one point in the game. Finally, I really wish the texture quality was a bit better. While the overall look works really well with this game, various scenes feature close-ups that show just how low-res many of the textures actually are. Other than these few complaints, the Walking Dead video game is highly recommended both for fans of the comic series, fans of the TV series, fans of Telltale, or just fans of good adventure games in general. This has been Zips with Total Gaming Network and CS Nation. We'll catch you next time.